Wendy Wilson, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Realizing Potential. I know quite a few rock stars, and one of them works here at Albany State University. I'm extremely fond of her, along with hundreds of other faculty, staff, and students. She is known by so many, so there's just a small group of individuals who may not be familiar with rock star Chief Anita Allen. How are you?
I'm well.
Good,
and thank you for your kind words.
Oh, all true. And the official welcome back to Albany State University. I know you've been here for a minute, but I want to just publicly say it. In this platform, we are so happy to have you back.
Thank you.
We had you on loan at Fort Valley for a minute. Now you're back home in a official capacity of our Chief of Police.
Ma'am.
Yes. We know Albany is home for you, and you prior to going to Fort Valley, you had a stint here at Albany State University and been in law enforcement for a while. Tell the small minority of viewers, they just moved here to Albany who are not familiar with you, about your background and what led up to your current role here as Chief of Police.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm from Albany, Georgia, but I was born in Fort Ricker, Alabama, so we moved here when I was about 3.
Okay.
I started my law enforcement career at the Dougherty County Sheriff's Office, where I was a detention officer. And I worked my way up through the chains. At the Dougherty County Sheriff's Office, I was promoted to a corporal. From a corporal, I skipped sergeant, went to a lieutenant, and I did investigations down there, a little bit public relations. And then I saw an opportunity here. If you remember Chief John Fields, he was also like a mentor to me at the Sheriff's Office as well, because he was a captain there. And the opportunity presented itself here at Albany State. I applied, came here. I had a great time. I did a lot of things under his leadership. But one thing he did for all of his command staff, he prepared us for leadership roles. And in that preparation, their position came up at Fort Valley State University. I didn't want to. I was like, I want to, be chief here. He's like, but you got to get out there and you got to, expose yourself to other opportunities. I did, and the good Lord saw fit for me to be the number 1 pick. And President Jones at Fort Valley State University gave me an opportunity to serve as his chief of police. The sky was the limit. I did my very best to work hard. I love people. I love our students. We've created so many different opportunities there. And then an opportunity presented itself years later. Back at Albany State, I applied, and here I am today. So I have a total is going on 23 years, coming up 23 years of law enforcement. I enjoy it. I love serving others. I love being an agent for change. I love bringing opportunities where people say the impossible can't be possible, but I like working with them so they can see the possibilities of what they're thinking they can't do. So that's just in a nutshell about me. Of course, I'll share this. I love ministry. I'm over the women's ministry at Victory Tabernacle. I was just appointed that by our lead pastor, Pastor Eddie Adams, and our associate pastor, Pastor Dennis Eccles. And I just really enjoy it. And with that, it's a segue into the Women Empowerment Studio. That is my business that I do on the outside to mentor women. Just, self-esteem building, just loving who you are, and just having training and programs and activities in that studio. And it's also an opportunity for them to use it as their leisure to do what they want to do and also train and do workshops with others.
Outstanding. I certainly want to circle back to that, your entrepreneurial endeavors. But let's go back to... I absolutely believe in 2 things as it relates to leadership, that you establish or create a succession plan. And because we are not going to be in these roles always, and the operations should not cease, we need to have some continuity. But what I love, and many things we both love about Chief Fields, who's moved on to another great opportunity in Texas, I believe, is that he identified within his people, which is absolutely what you should do. You should always groom and develop them. But he was bold and brave enough to say that you are not supposed to be here always, that we are preparing you for the next opportunity so that you can continue to develop. And so I applaud him for that, because not all leaders do that. When they see skills and a really great acumen in someone, sometimes we can be selfish and want to hold on to those individuals. And so I love that he identified that in you and said, you need to grow and develop.
Yeah.
You can certainly do that in one particular place, but we become better based upon our experiences and the diversity of our experiences.
Absolutely, and I love it because he instilled that in me, and I do
Okay.
that today.
Yes, you do.
And I'm proud to say, even leaving Fort Valley State, coming back here, at the time, Tatasha Greer was there, and she became the interim
Yes.
chief. And then when I came home back to Albany State, LaShonda Etheridge. This is a proud moment for me. I remember instilling those same things into her, and when that opportunity came at Albany Tech, she put in for it. I don't think she was going to put in for it at the beginning, and she did, and look where she is now. Because I value her leadership. I value just the things that she's done in my absence and coming back and what I have seen. And she's doing an awesome job at Albany Tech, and I am so proud of her.
You should be proud. And although she certainly put in the work, just the fact that you led by example and demonstrated to her that this is absolutely possible and achievable.
Absolutely.
And I remember having conversations with her, and she's looking deer in headlights.
Yeah.
You know, can I do this? Absolutely, you can do this, and you have to do it again to demonstrate to others.
That's right.
We had a taping yesterday, and we were talking about the importance of representation. And I know you certainly are well aware of it in the law enforcement space, that there are not that many women in key leadership roles, and certainly women of color. You were just given a distinct honor too at a state level. Will you share with the viewers what that is?
Yes, so that's the Georgia Chief Association for the State of Georgia. You can look at GACP or GeorgiaChiefs.com. And I have been sworn in as the second vice president. And yes, I am the first African American female to be on that board, and I am slated to be the president in 2025.
Outstanding.
So I'm proud of that moment. It's like history, this has been made. So we're all excited. I'm working with a great team on that executive board. They have been mentoring me, coaching me along the way, teaching me, exposing me to a lot of different things. I've been able to network and just meet a lot of people across the state of Georgia. And I had to be voted in by my peers. So that's a very diverse group.
Yes.
And it's an honor, it's a true honor to be a part of that board, because that means somebody sees something in me. That means the chiefs of police here in the state of Georgia, they saw something in me to vote for me and to have me to be on that board and to be sworn in.
And let's not overshadow or dismiss. You've put in a lot of hard work.
I did.
Your
yes.
reputation precedes you. And so absolutely you were deserving of that honor. Yeah.
Yes.
We don't get to just walk into positions.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We have to work
there's
very
some work
hard.
that has to go, and work harder than others sometimes. It's just the reality. I don't want to discount that.
Yes.
So
and
absolutely
you
deserve.
That, yes.
Yeah, you
I
absolutely
spent
deserve
hours,
that space.
Hours,
I know you did.
And I still do.
Sure.
And it's because it's a passion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the title, because you can remove the title. I'm still going to serve the community because I just love people. Yeah. But this just gives me another opportunity to be at a platform, a higher level, to be able, what I have in my heart, to be able to get it out there and have key leaders.
To make a great impact.
Exactly.
Greater impact.
Yes.
Greater impact. And the world is deserving, this community, the broader community is deserving of a Chief Anita Allen. You and I have had countless conversations, and I do agree that we all have our callings, and the world knows I go to bed early, so my ministry is very targeted and very focused. What I mean by that, or what I want to segue into, is that you live this life 24 hours, 7 days a week. And one of the many reasons why we're honored to have you here is you avail yourself and you make yourself available, particularly to our jewels, our great treasure here at Albany State, which is our students. Yeah. And so your phone is always on. You have built a rapport and you have a great reputation among our students. And they know in moments of distress or crisis, or just to say, hey, Chief, I'm doing really well. I just wanted you to know that I got an A, or I thought I wasn't going to make it out of the situation, but I did. You were always there to answer the phone. And that's a unique position, and one that you wear proudly. Where does that come from?
Well, my mom is like that too, though.
Okay.
And, she's in ministry and she's like that. And she will always, I remember going back, I'll just say the fair. You guys go to the fair and that stamp, you wash it off. Don't go back to school and let everybody see the little stamp that you went because somebody didn't go. And you don't want anybody else to feel bad because they couldn't go to the fair. Just little stuff like that stuck with me. Wow. And I didn't want to wash it off because I wanted to show everybody I went to the fair. But I had to wash that because it was a stamp back then. I had to wash it off because, and she was right. Everybody didn't have an opportunity. So I was the type of person that those that was not popular or didn't, get into the crowd. I wanted to be their friend because I was that goofy Anita, and I guess everybody loved me because I was just goofy. I talked to everybody. I was an athlete, and I just tried to have fun with everybody because I cared about people's feelings, and I still do today. Somebody could disrespect me or hurt me. I think I could deal with it better than the average person. Because you got to find something good out of that situation. Sure. Just like our students. They're young, they're growing, they're still developing. And they may say things and do things, but you got to have somebody there that's a level head and pull them back in and have a conversation with them and mentor them and tell them this is not the way to go, but this is the right path to take. Sure. And when you do that, you make a difference in somebody's life. And years later, they can come back to you and tell you how you helped me from whether it was suicide, whether it was going the wrong way, whether it was smoking that joint, or whether it was drinking that alcohol, any of that, that is what I take pride in. Mm-hmm. I love my students.
You do.
I love my students.
You absolutely do. And I'm so pleased that they have you as a resource. Speak to them in particular. We are just the commencement of the new academic year, 2023-24 fall semester is already in full effect, and I'm feeling it already, but we're going to soldier on. I don't care how many times we do this. You're like, oh my gosh, This is a lot, but we get through it. So you, again, as we're talking about the students and that frontal lobe hasn't quite developed, they're not always making wise decisions, coupled with this is a new environment for so many of them. Mm-hmm. And they've not experienced anything like this. And so the dynamics of I'm sharing a room with someone that I do not know, and I've got to go into this classroom with all of these students that I do not know, and the expectations with that. So that coupled with the whole social life, being away from home for the first time, and there's no one there to say, yeah, you may want to be in at a reasonable hour in terms of getting your rest. And then it goes down. There's that slippery slope. Speak to our students about being mindful of the decisions that they make, being consciously aware of their surroundings, the whole spiel that you give them. That is so very important in terms of their safety.
Absolutely. First, I always tell students you're a walking resume. Every day, you are a walking resume, so they have to remember that. You have to be a professional student while you're in college. Mm-hmm. And I know it's very difficult to do starting out as a freshman. We've all been there, but you have to remember that. And the reason I say that is you just have to be mindful about what you say, your behavior, because there's choices. And depending on what choice you make, it may come with a good or bad consequence. Being here at a college campus, when you're talking about your surroundings, it's very important that they make sure they know where they are. Google, learn about Albany, learn about, where particular places that you need to go and particular places that you may not need to go. And then ask those questions. That's why I say the police department here is a resource to help guide you through that. Make sure that you make smart decisions where if you're in a situation and don't feel as if you have to be bullied or peer pressured to do something that you know that you haven't done or you don't even feel comfortable doing, it's okay to tell somebody. It's okay. We always said when you see something, you must say something. That could either save your life or someone else's life. Sometimes they get caught up in their emotions, and what I mean by that, we have these conversations, these courageous conversations. Somebody could say something to another student, or they may see something on social media that just gets them all routed up. Well, don't do anything that will change your life pathway for the rest of your life. That could be something that is very destructive. Sure. You have to be careful with that. Don't get caught in your emotions to make a sudden move that could just change your life forever. I tell students you have to value you first because nobody else will. You got to value your education, and you most definitely have to value your freedom. If you put those three things intact all the time, you're going to think about every decision that you make because you come here for education. If you care about you, you're not going to make those decisions. If you care about the education that your parents are working so hard to pay for, then you're going to step back and think, I'm not going to do that because my mom, dad, whoever is working so hard for me to be here. And then the other thing is your freedom. Do I want to do this and risk the opportunity of going to jail? I don't want to have my record, with me having disorderly conducts or having to go for fighting or having to go for underage drinking, different things like that. You don't want that because that can follow you after you graduate. And I always tell them, there are 3 people that's interviewing for a job, and you have been waiting on this opportunity. They have to narrow it down. Now they're narrowing it down to the top 2. Okay, so what are they going to look at to see who are they going to choose for this job? Remember your student code of conduct? You remember what you did 4, 5, 6 years ago? Sometimes those things will be determined on who they may choose. And that's just reality.
Oh, absolutely.
And so when I talk to them just as quiet as you just got, and he was like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Because you have to tell them that. If you don't tell them, be very transparent and let them know that, they won't know it. So they won't know how to make good decisions.
Sure.
But when you say that, I remember that. Yeah. And so that helps guide them along the way. Yeah. Other than that, our students are wonderful. And I tell them all the time, nobody can talk about them but me. But they're wonderful. And the reason I say that because they're here for a reason. Sure. They're here to be our future leaders, and I want to play a part of that, and I want to help them get to where they need to be. And I think we all are doing that.
Absolutely.
We all are doing it here at Albany State University.
But you do it in a little special way. You make that immediate connection, and as I said, just in a taping we did yesterday, that everyone wants to be seen and acknowledged, and they may not have come from environments where that has occurred. So this is probably, in many instances, the first introduction. I don't want to also miss the opportunity, this is extremely important, and you alluded to this, is to honor that voice, that internal voice. And so if it doesn't feel right, or if you're questioning if you should do something, then honor that and don't do it.
Absolutely.
It's there for a reason.
Right.
So we're also teaching them to learn to develop that and to respect that. There will always be opportunities to have fun and engage and to socialize, but be selfish with yourself and protect the current you and the you that you are aspiring to be and the one that you have yet to even fully envision where you want to be 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Right. But there are going to be some expectations. And as you so eloquently said, people are going to be making decisions about you. And with that, it might be Wendy and Anita in the pool, and they're trying to narrow it down. But that poor decision that Wendy made 15 years ago, because we're living in the age where everything is traceable, and just with a few Google searches, a few clicks, your whole life is unfolded. Yes. And as I used to tell mine who are now young adults, and Mom, I'm delete that off of social media. And they're like, oh, Mom, and they do it. But I said, also remember, even though with that deletion, somebody took a screenshot of it. Yeah. There's always that possibility, waiting for that moment to present it to the world. So they have a lot of, our young people have a lot of pressure that you or I may not have had to deal with in our lives. And so I want them to also be mindful of that. It's okay. And we have a plethora of resources here to help navigate that. Counseling and accessibility services. Chief Allen avails herself, or stop by my office and we'll help you figure it out. It's more than just the educational component of their development. Before we wrap up, I want to share with our viewers, they may not know, and you spoke about it earlier, how you find time to do it. I do not know, but it aligns with who you are and what you so richly give to the world. And you are now on the entrepreneur track, and you have had a ministry and a mission to empowering individuals, particularly women. And so now you have an actual brick and mortar facility to help facilitate and engage. So tell the viewers before we wrap up a little bit about that. How they can take advantage of that, what the experience is like. I had a chance to visit. It's a beautiful setting a couple weeks ago, and I hope to engage an audience there as well.
Thank you,
So
sir.
the Women Empowerment Studio is at 1104 West 3rd Avenue, Suite A. The studio is to help mentor, empower our women to have meetings, trainings, and programs, but it's also open to women here in the community to be able to use that for other events that they may have. Mary Kay workshops, if somebody want to do a CPR, I've had somebody reach out about that workshop. If they want to do baby showers, small gatherings, or just any type of training, Bible study, any other ministry, they are more than welcome to use it. My goal is to be able to build relationship with so many different women where we have an opportunity to share and network in this facility. And I look for it to grow as well. The overall goal is to give back to our women and also reach our young women and our youth. I'm having a color book. We used to have like the paint and sip. So we're having a color book party for the little youth coming this Saturday. And what that is, the parents can sit back, they eat ice cream, but the little girls, they can color, they can talk to each other, and then they can also have their little chocolate milk or ice cream or their little juicy high C drink and just have a conversation, because we got to start somewhere. And then that gives me an opportunity to mentor and to pour into them, because it's always okay to let them know you can be unique. Be you and be beautiful. You don't have to compare yourself, and help build their self-esteem. So that's the overall purpose of the Women Empowerment Studio, is to just make sure that we are motivating and empowering every woman that comes through there.
I love that. I would try to infiltrate the youth, the little girls session, because I love to color. So let me know when you have one for the adults.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, who is this lady sitting in our chairs? Yeah. But there's much therapy in coloring. So let me know. I'm so proud of you. I hope you never grow tired of me saying that. You are such a huge representative and light of the wonderful things that we represent and embody, or attempt to embody here at Albany State University. And so we are elated to have you back home. I'm super excited. As much as you have trailblazed, I know that there's even greater beyond this. So I'm just absolutely honored to be in your space to cheer you on.
Thank you.
Can I add one thing? Thank you
Absolutely.
for always, and you don't give yourself credit either. So when I was here before, went to Fort Valley and came back, you have always been a support. You've always been there, and you are a role model to me and a mentor. So people don't know that. So I appreciate you helping me along the way. And when I have questions, and even with speaking, making sure I do it correctly. So thank you for being a role model in my life, and I appreciate you. And you are so beautiful, and you do so much for people behind the scenes, and they don't know it. So I'm going to give you your flowers while we're here on this platform to you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so
so
much.
much. It has always been my pleasure. I'm honored. Viewers, thank you so much for joining me for this edition of Realizing Potential. I'm Wendy Wilson, and I look forward to seeing you next time.